I would go out tonight, but I haven't got a stitch to welcome everybody to Sebastian Haller's favourite football podcast, the Onlyfanz Football Podcast. Sebastian, if you're listening, pal, we never doubted you. On today's episode, we discuss the difference between a barman and a barber. We talk the weekend that was in the Premier League. We have the return of Cod of the Week, sponsored this week by dreadful Premier League penalty takers. We hope you enjoy the podcast wherever you're listening, and be sure to follow our Instagram, Spotify, YouTube and Twitter. Take it easy.
My spanky senses tell me this is gonna get fucking tasty, baby.
I will love it if we beat them. Love it.
Here's a slice of cheese with Nico Gianopoulos.
I have a dream.
Badler.
The fella in the green and white short.
The guys up in the joy have asked to be put back in their cells.
If you stop waffling, we might get some work done.
He has to go, blood. He has to go, blood.
Get out! Get out, Man United!
Origi!
Torres to give Chelsea a place in the Shane Long has done it!
Let me add a little bit of spice to that.
Is he a fucking spice?
My grandmother had wheels, she would have been a bike.
I think I'm a special one.
I'm the normal one.
I never knew Stoke were that good.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 9 of the Onlyfanz Football Podcast, for the fans, by the fans.
Dramatic pause there. Just waiting for the episode title to drop. Oh, God.
What episode title we're going for this week? Sebastian Haller.
It's the Sebastian Haller written all over, man. Has to be. He's my I have him coming up later as well, but yeah, the Sebastian Haller, 100%. A gorgeous Frenchman. Fair play to him.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, I hope we're all well this week. I've been keeping well. I have the soundproof up in studio 250. Soon to come video podcast. Hopefully episode 10, episode 11. It's looking well. What do you think of my job?
Yeah, it's looking well from where I am, to be fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting into it. We've had a bit of a what would you describe, a COVID scare this week again. Obviously you're recovering. And I actually, you know what, I'm getting tested tomorrow. So I couldn't be there in person today.
I suppose I'll just crack into how was your week?
Well, bam. Right.
Yeah.
My week was grand. Yeah. I tell you what, man, the weeks are going quick. We said it last week and you were like, oh, what's the start of this grimness? No, they're going good. The weekends are really short though, I have to say. Had a great week last week. I done 5-a-side last week, right, on the Thursday with the lads. And it was an absolute sensational experience. It was a great crack. We were all fucking wrecked after about 10 minutes. Like, it was so funny. A bunch of points men playing 5-a-side. It was hilarious. It's good crack.
It was bog standard, wasn't it?
Come here. It was as good as what you'd see in Old Trafford, I suppose. But yeah, no, it was good crack. There was a few games we kept changing the score or whatever, and I think the only people, shout out to Shay and Dave, are the only two people, God bless them, that didn't get a goal with the whole thing. So yeah, God bless them. They put in a shift. They couldn't quite get there. I say this, I literally scored the last goal of the whole thing, and it was the worst goal of the whole lot as well. So, but yeah, good crack at the 5-a-side. We're looking to do it again, hopefully. And then on Friday, we celebrated your birthday. Of course we did. We celebrated your birthday with a few points in the barbers. Yeah, Saturday and Sunday, good days as well. The Friday night, I have to say, was sensational. We sang the Smiths, This Charming Man, I'd say about 100 times.
Shout out Rick Astley.
I would go out tonight, but I haven't got a stitch to wear. Yeah, shout out Johnny Marr as well for being a moany. What would you call him? A moan bag on Twitter. Like, what was he going on about? But yeah, I suppose it's his song, so he's more entitled to. But yeah, good week anyways. Yourself?
Myself, yeah, as I said, just pure sickness. And I turned 21 midweek. It's a big milestone.
21.
It was a very blissful experience. And
yeah, it's best. What you say? You watched The Office?
Oh yeah, no, I banged back into season 3 of The Office, and
good man.
It cheered me up tenfold because I was collapsed on the couch. That was my birthday though. It was horrendous. Yeah, that was my 21st. It was quite grim.
It sounds awful, man.
It does sound awful because it was awful. But
God.
I ended up actually having a few beer Moretti's as well at the end of the night, and again, it just made me feel worse than myself. So that was my week. I hope that cheered everyone up, by the way.
Well, it's like one of those things where it's like, look how bad my life is. Your life is now better. My birthday was filled with me coughing and blowing my nose and drinking Moretti until it made me sick. So I'm sure your day was much better. Oh God! I would go out tonight, but I haven't got a stitch to wear. In this week's games, the Friday night fixture, as we said, we were in the Barbers of, was it Grange Gorman? It is Grange Gorman, isn't it, more or less?
It is and it isn't. You know, it is Grange Gorman. It's a bit of a walk from Grange Gorman, but the barman was actually a Newcastle fan. That was the funny part.
It was a bit of a weird one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I didn't think they were real beans, to be honest.
Yeah, we almost didn't believe him in the end.
Yeah, and then he was taking it quite seriously. He kept coming over. He's like, two Black Widow Army. He was taking it quite seriously. I honestly, I couldn't tell you another Newcastle fan other than Anton Deck and that barman from the Barbers. And anyways, crack on with the game. You have this game. I don't know whether you know that.
I don't know that, but we were at that game, and I have to say, it was like being at the game. It was a great atmosphere in the Barbers.
Cracking atmosphere
between all of us. First goal was scored by Rafinha, and I thought it was and Rafinha just hit it with his left foot. Beautiful dummy, but I think it was
Rodrigo,
was it? Yeah, and a good dummy, and it just went into the back of the net. You could criticise some of the Newcastle defending, I suppose, but I don't think there's much they could have done. Maybe stop the cross, and it just went in.
They definitely could have stopped the cross, to be fair. I thought he was crossing in just to get into the mixer and hoping Rodrigo or Bamford would be there. And long and behold, it went straight in. It was a lovely goal in the end. Good play by Rodrigo. Newcastle could have done so much to stop it, but they didn't.
And then the barman came over and he was like, "Fuck's sake!" Straight in our face. And we were like, "What the fuck? Are you a Newcastle fan?" And he was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Well."
That's literally how it happened as well, actually. You hardly support Newcastle, do you? Yeah, I do, yeah.
Then, right on the cusp of half-time, I had a bet on San Maximin. Why did I say his name like that? San Maximin and Patrick Bamford to score in the game. And the goal came. San Maximin, equaliser. Just really bad defending by Leeds to let him shoot. But it was a good few dummies, and he got the ball through. Bad goalkeeping. But it went in. And it was a 1-1. And I went home in the second half. Knowing nothing would happen, to be honest, because I was feeling very sick. I think it was me.
Well, I'll tell you what did happen. What you did miss was, just by chance, the Smiths, This Charming Man came on. And the music, we didn't even ask. Really? It just came on. It was gas, was.
Right as Newcastle drew 1-0 to Leeds, Charming Man came on.
They must have heard us constantly singing it and they put it on. Right, we're moving on to the 12 o'clock kickoff. Wolves and Brentford. Excuse me. I have this game, and I have to say, right, Wolves were so bad. So bad. I have to say, we talked about Wolves a lot recently because of how many attempts they've had and how good they've been, etc. Without scoring. But man, that performance on Saturday, spineless and gutless. Like I've never been angry looking at another team play, really, that I don't have any affinity with. I was fuming looking at Wolves. Marcel for the corner. He does it once to Tony, and the referee goes, 6-1, half doesn't do that. But he does it again, and he just drags Tony to the ground, gives away a penalty. And look at it. The game finished 2-0 to Brentford. A very, very good, very mature performance from them. And Waymo, he could have had a hat-trick. He was very good in the game. Hit crossbar late on, and then just as the second half started, he dispossessed. I think it was Neves in midfield, and he could have scored, but he didn't. And Tony as well. Tony could have had 2 or 3. He had 2 goals disallowed. Like the game genuinely could have been about 6-0 to Brentford. What I will say is the Brentford kit, absolutely chef's kiss, beautiful kit. And to go with it, the shithousing from the Mall game was unbelievable. Pontus Janssen, Norgard, Tony, every single one of them. They just knew when to like give away little fouls, and they just slowed the game down completely. And that was what won them the game. To be honest, it wouldn't have been. Obviously they were very good, but the shithousing and the slowing the game down, taking Wolves down to their level, stuff like that, they were great. Who else? Yeah, I have Huang was very impressive. There was when he first came on, he nutmegged Pontus Janssen and nearly scored. He's very good, and then Azur's tackle on Huang was unbelievable as well. That I think if Huang scores there, the game could be turned on its head. But
I actually thought you were saying Pontus Janssen shithousing there. I thought it was brilliant when he spat in your man's face. I think he did that. Yeah, your man went mad at him. I think he was just shouting terrible abuse at him. And your man Marcel went mad at him. I think he just spat on him or something. But it was very funny shithousing to watch. And the Hollywood on their jersey that you spoke of, Ivan Toney belongs in Hollywood. What a fuck player.
absolutely.
He was a star this week. The assist for the goal was,
Yeah, great play. The pass by Tony reminded me a lot of what Suarez used to do, and the finish by Mbeumo was just what Sturridge used to do. Right position, bang, goal, fully deserving of the win.
It's impressive as well how Tony has that vision as well as a striker. Usually the strikers have tunnel vision and they're a bit selfish and they'll go for goal over anyone else. But it's very impressive how Ivan Toney, when there is a pass on, a blatant one and a goal opportunity, he spots that pass. Because most of the players and most of the strikers, they think selfishly, which is usually a great thing for a striker, don't get me wrong. But it's good that he has that vision as well and he can pick that pass out. And I suppose that's why he scored so many goals and why he assisted so many goals last season. So
cracking result.
Yeah, cracking result for Brentford. Terrible for Wolves as well.
Shocking.
Yeah, and that's that. 3:00 kickoff.
So we've got Liverpool Palace next. 3-0 to the Reds. Cracking result. Before we get into the goals, whatever, I think 3-0 probably flatters Liverpool a bit. I think Palace were very good in the game. I think I say they were very good. They had good chances at the start. Yeah, and Alisson just kept them out. He was very good again, immense in the game. For me, he was up at Milner. Himself and Milner were probably toss-up between man the match. Just speak about Milner real quick. He was colossal. Like, we looked at Zaha against Emerson Royal and Tanganga the week before, and he just ran them ragged, but he didn't get a sniff against Milner, so Milner was very good. Yeah, just real quick on the goals. 3 of the goals came from corners, which I think is very interesting. You know, the first one in by Tsimikas, Salah gets a free header, and McCarthy's poor defending, poor marking, just lets Mane go. And you can see him with his head in his hands as Mane's about to hit. He knew exactly that was his man. The Salah goal again, Tsimikas corner, Van Dijk with the header on, and Salah just had a free hit at the back post. And then what can we say about Naby Keita? Naby Keita's goal for me. We'll get on to goal of the week, but that was goal of the weekend for me. It was a cracking hit. And he just stood there like as if to say, did I actually do that? But what else? What did you think, Cron?
Yeah, I thought I watched the game. I watched a bit of the game, but I didn't see all the goals, obviously. Edouard's miss was a very big moment in the game. If he scores that's I think they were 1-0 up at the time, Liverpool, or 0-0.
Yeah, it would have been 1-0.
It would have been 1-0, and I think that could have changed the game. But
that was just after Thiago went off injured. And I don't know what he's saying the pre-match and post-match analysis, but was Richard Dunn and Kenny Cunningham on it.
Possibly so.
Huh?
I said possibly so.
So when Thiago got injured, that was that period of the game. For the whole pre-match and post-match, they were slating him, saying he wasn't good enough, he wasn't this, he wasn't that. When Thiago went off, he completely dropped off. And an interesting note, actually, no wins for Vieira ever at Anfield. 7 games winless with Arsenal, 1 game winless with Inter, and now 1 game winless with Palace. It's an interesting one. I thought Vieira would have ran amok at Anfield a few times, but clearly not.
Wowzers. That was before my time. Anyways, we'll move on to Burnley Arsenal. A 1-0 victory for the Arsenal at Sean Dyche's Palace, Turf Moor. I thought Ashley Barnes was dreadful. He had a few chances that he just did not take, that would have maybe got a draw against him. But it was a goal from Arsenal by Martin Odegaard, a free kick.
Cracking goal,
yeah. It turned out to be an Arsenal victory. But I think this is Arsenal's standard at the moment. It's depressing.
Yeah.
But they're beating teams like Norwich, Burnley 1-0. And I think that is their level. You know, unfortunately, I can't see Arsenal finishing in the top 6 this season. It's going to be low. It's going to be 9th to 10th.
Yeah, absolutely. I think
these are teams they're going to be beaten.
Well, I think I've seen an interesting stat about Saka and Dan James. I think Dan James has the same amount of goals and like one less assist than Saka, and Saka has far more starts than James. Anyways, I just think there's a tinge of maybe players being overrated. Like I like Emile Smith-Rowe, I like Saka as well, but I don't think they're world class. I don't think they're good enough for Arsenal at the minute. I think a player like Odegaard is very good.
I think
on Saturday.
I think a player like Odegaard doesn't get the credit he deserves now, and people like Partey as well, who are a bit more upper echelon. Even Pepe, to a certain extent, can show up, and Aubameyang, but those are really your quality. A quick shout out to Tommy Yasu as well, who was very good in the game. He defended brilliantly, and he's looking a bit better than the likes of Bellerin. So a good performance from him, and a good performance from the back four, I would say, and Ramsdale as well in goal. Ben White playing alongside Gabriel looks a bit more structurally secure. Let's put it that way. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see now. This is full strength Arsenal team with the likes of Partey, Odegaard. Interesting to see what happens to them against one of the big teams in the future. And a loss for Sean Dyche. Not really surprising.
After he signed a new contract as well, I think, didn't he?
Yeah, it's another 4 years of Dyche ball. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it for our eyes more than anything, because it is very good for the soul. I'm talking out my arse. 4 years. 4 years for Sean Dyche. Everyone, congratulations to him. Stone cold Sean Dyche.
Stone cold Sean Dyche. Burnley mid-table mediocrity for the foreseeable.
Manchester City, Southampton. I think Adzi had this one.
Yeah, Cron, I'll be honest with you. I didn't see this game until I matched it later tonight. And I fell asleep looking at it. I was wrecked. We had been out, had a long night the night before, so that was at my breaking point. But I looked at it again, and what I did see, I thought Armstrong looked really good again. Adam Armstrong, we've said that before. He's looked good in every game more or less he's played. He's very agile, he's very quick. And there was one part where like he tore Diaz apart, like he tore them inside out. And I think this was when, I don't know what he's saying, the Walker penalty instant. But Kyle Walker just like takes him out, just takes Armstrong out. And he gets sent off for it. And then there's a bit of VAR nonsense, really. And Walker gets the red card taken away from him. He looks surprised. Referee goes, yeah, it's a free out as well. And I've never seen a football player look more surprised in their life than Kyle Walker in that minute. Because it was a penalty all day long. Like, I mean, whatever, it wasn't a red card. I wouldn't have given a red card. But it's a definite penalty. Like, I have no idea how they couldn't have given it. But yeah, I think Hasenhüttl will be a bit upset with that. But yeah, speaking about Hasenhüttl, actually, I just love, right, because I did fall asleep watching it, and when I woke up at one of the parts, I was just saying Hasenhüttl in his fucking waistcoat again, and he looks like your dad at a wedding trying to fucking, he's after breaking up with his missus and he's trying to chat one of the bridesmaids, like he's just like the stage one, like, you know what I mean? Yeah, so I'd say he was fuming. He's probably gone off to sing a bleeding Billy Joel tribute act for a wedding later, but yeah, I think as well.
Sing us a song, you're the piano man.
Sing us a song tonight. Yeah, and actually, I just have here, right? And Pep should worry more about the selection of the team and not about the stadium being empty, because I don't know what you try to pick the fancy football on a Friday night or Friday afternoon. It's very hard to pick any City player because he just plays Pep Bingo and he just picks his team, just picks a random team every time.
Yeah, he's mad for taking like if you have De Bruyne in your fantasy team, he's mad for taking him out and fucking you over. Like, he loves doing that.
Overall, the worst game of football I've watched all season.
Ah, yeah. Thank God I didn't watch it then. We'll move on to Norwich against Watford. A 3-1 win for Norwich with goals from Emmanuel Dennis and 2 from Ismaila Sarr. Really rate Sarr as a player. And Timu Pukki as well, getting on the score sheet. Haven't seen much of him because Daniel Farke isn't winning any games. He's doing pretty bad like the whole season. He needs to dig his head out of his hole and get better tactics and get a result. Because I think he's lost 6 games now. And a team like Norwich would have beat a team like Watford in the Championship, I would say. So why can't they do it now? You know what I mean? They're lost in this Premier League trampolining all the time. They need to win this game. You know what I mean? If you're got a team like Norwich, you need to win a game like this. It's a must, and you're at home as well. Where are you? Where are you?
I think for a team like Norwich, just briefly, it's games like that on Saturday that their season will hinge on. Not games against Liverpool or Chelsea or City. You can lose them, you can get a sneaky win, whatever, but it's games like that against Watford at home that they need to be winning. Watford have been very good since they've come up, to be fair. But yeah, it could be a very long season for Norwich.
Yeah, and a good result as well for Watford. I do rate Ismaila Sarr, as I said. And they're looking well under Hisco. So if they stay up, it'll be a good result anyway. We'll move on swiftly to the Villa against Everton game. I was actually looking at this game on Saturday, and I went to the toilet and it was 3-0. It's starting it all. I went to the toilet, it was 3-0. So, I think you have this game, Adzi. Explain to me.
Yeah, well, I'll be honest with you, Cran. I was looking at the match as well, and the first half was really bad. It was up there with the City Southampton game, and I fell asleep. And when I woke up, it was 2-0. And then I seen the third goal. They're all. I rewinded it back, anyways, and Cash's goal was unbelievable. It was a really good goal, good cutting inside and whack bang, cracking goal. I don't know what Begovic was doing for the second goal. I know Luka Dean headed it in, but it was as if Begovic was like put his hands like, "It's all right, lads, it's going over." And then Leon Bailey, I have to say Ings as well for the third goal. Ings' pass was unbelievable. I have 2 things written here about Everton. Everton's Premier League hopes officially over for this season. You hate to see it. And then I have Solomon Rondon playing in the Premier League in the 24th century. In whatever century we're in, I don't know. Fucking god for this. Absolutely hilarious.
Solomon Rondon was a baller about 10 years ago. But yeah, good result nonetheless for Villa. And Leon Bailey does look like a good little player. I was watching him on Saturday. He is a nippy little fella, and he's going to be difficult to play against this season. So, yeah.
I thought he was very good now, I have to say. I thought he was came on, done absolutely everything, and then just left. You know what I mean? That's what you're doing.
But generally, a bad start for Villa this season. Only 2 wins, 7 points. A bit of Jack Grealish tax, maybe. But yeah, that's them in 14th. Anyway, we'll move on to the Sunday games. The Sunday game, Des.
What's the team tune off the Sunday game again?
Dun, 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 dun. Something like that. Anyway.
Yeah, we could cut that the fuck out.
Fuck off, Fancy. That was a beautiful rendition of the Sunday game theme song. But yeah.
Yes.
Brighton against Leicester was the first game on the agenda, and a good game for Potter. Harry Potter ball. It's really working out. A Brigadian Leviosa, Graham Potter.
Oh, will you stop?
Graham Potter is playing some great football. He's playing some great football. And Neil Maupay got on the score sheet, and he made it 1-0 to Brighton.
Julius penalty, by the way. Did you see the penalty that was given?
Oh, yeah, I did see that, actually. Yeah, Vestager was just in a strange position where Maupay was like holding his arm and he put it up and then it just hit his arm, even though it was a foul. Yeah, this is the thing with I don't think it's even a referee thing. It's an English referee thing. The referees are so bad.
I thought VAR was really poor this weekend. I thought VAR was poor. Like, there was 2 or 3 in that Leicester game alone.
Yeah.
There was 3 or 4 penalties in the United
Barnes
game.
one. Sorry, I'll go through the goals really quickly. The Welbeck goal went in, and then you had the Vardy goal, which was good.
Cracking goal.
Then you had this Ndidi header at the end. That was fine, in my opinion.
Like, it really annoyed me now. Really frustrated me, I have to say.
Barnes was basically, they say he was interfering with the vision of the keeper or whatever, but he wasn't in his vision, I don't think. It was nip and tuck, and he was barely offside to me, so it is annoying.
I can understand the first one. The first one, he is offside. Like, the first one, he is in the side of the keeper. I get that. But the second one, you can see in the replays now, the keeper's not even looking at him. The keeper's, and he's fuming after the goal went in. He's not claiming for an offside or anything. So for me, the Ndidi header should have stood. But yeah, I thought it was a bad weekend for Varane anyways.
Absolutely. We'll move on anyways to the West Ham versus United again. There actually is a lot of talking points in this game. Yeah. I think we were both watching it.
Yeah, it was a good game of football, I have to say. It was good entertainment of a Sunday afternoon. I was going to say Saturday. A Sunday afternoon make me procrastinate college work. But yeah, it was. You know what? It was a really good game. I thought in the first half, West Ham. I think the whole game actually, West Ham was very threatening. The goal comes from a deflection. I think it was Ben Rama that took the shot, and it just deflects off Varane, and then it goes. West Ham took the lead, of course, and then Ronaldo got another tap in, and I see people giving out about it, saying all he does is score penalties and scores tap ins. But it's like, he's still scoring the goals. Credit where it's due. You know what I mean? His positioning has become unbelievable. You know what I mean? Even that goal, like, you could say Cresswell should stand up, should step up and play Ronaldo offside. But Ronaldo's looking at him and is waiting for the perfect moment to make the run, and he scores anyways. And
he's just brilliant.
Lingard,
brilliant.
Yeah, it was a great goal.
And I think the only people that do complain about those tap-ins is the 11-year-olds on Twitter that haven't seen him play before and are watching him for the first time in the Premier League. But that's the way he is. Like, he does score goals like that. He gets them as a result of his positioning and what he does on the pitch. It's not just
it's not luck or anything. You know what I mean? It's good play by him. You know what I mean? Yeah. We look at Lingard's goal. Then what a goal! What a goal by Lingard!
Brilliant.
It was up there, one of the goals of the weekend for me. Cuts in on his right, bam, top corner. No stopping it. But there genuinely should have been about 5 or 6 penalties in this game. Like, I have no idea what the referees like. Even look at the Leeds and Newcastle game. Dan James gets taken out in that, and it doesn't. I'm pretty sure it didn't even go with the VAR. Now, we were a good few points deep, so I don't really necessarily remember. But I remember seeing on Twitter, I was like, "How is that not a penalty?" Dan James gets taken out in that game. This game, Ronaldo. There's one on Kufal that's definitely a penalty. That's a penalty all day, every day, twice on Sundays. It's a penalty. Yeah. The one on Zuma, he's anticipating like being hit. It is a bit of a dive, but at the same time, you've seen them given. You know what I mean?
I don't know about that now, Andy. I think that was as blatant as they come in terms of penalty. Zuma mistimed
the one on Zuma.
Yeah, he mistimed his tackle completely. Absolutely hacks him down. I think it's a penalty.
Well, the thing with it is, like, and this is what the referee will take into consideration, is it's right beside the byline, and Ronaldo is kicking that past him, and Zuma does mistime it, but Ronaldo's going down before Zuma's like even tackling him, let's say. You know what I mean? The one on Kufal is 100% a penalty. The one on Kufal is,
I think both of them are
1,000,000% a penalty. The one on Souček by Wan-Bissaka, how was that not a penalty? I think the idea was that Souček may have been offside, but like, he wasn't offside. But Wan-Bissaka just clatters him. Like, I mean, he like takes him out. Like,
oh yeah, no, I know the one now. I think that was offside. That's the reason.
No, I don't think he was, man. I seen a replay of him. He wasn't offside. Just give all of them. Give out every single one of them. If it's a penalty, it's a penalty. Like, who cares if that's 3 penalties that could have easily been given instead one is given? You know what I mean?
And the poetic justice of it all is that West Ham got a penalty at the end, a handball, and who comes on to take it? But club legend Marky Nobes himself.
Straight from the Queen Vic of EastEnders.
Straight from EastEnders, straight from watching a bargain bucket from KFC, or straight from eating a bargain bucket from KFC. And anyway, Marky Knobs comes on. Look at me! I'm about to take the penalty. Look at me! And unfortunately, he got looked at too much, and the Haya saved it.
What I will say is, where was the guy's saves when Villarreal were thumped them?
Stop
I
that.
had to cram. I'm sorry, I had to do that.
But I think, listen, I think overall, in the balance of things, that was a fair result. A 2-1 win for United. I think they did deserve to win the game. So
yeah, I'd agree. I think they were the better side on the day, and like we said, look at you're talking 2 penalties on Ronaldo, an extra penalty on Soucek. Like there could have been way more goals in the game than what there was, and how VAR, which was awful the weekend, to be honest with you. But
yeah, definitely the most entertaining of the games this weekend, I think. Anyway, so
yeah,
we'll move on to
last game of the day.
Last game, and I thought we played absolutely awful against Spurs in the first half. It was a terrible performance. It was a terrible game to watch. They were winning the midfield battle with Lo Celso and Ndombele and Højbjerg in the midfield. And Chelsea started with a pivot of Kovacic and Jorginho. So it was never going to be won that way. The second half, Tuchel, flick of a switch, takes off Mason Mount, an attacking player, for another midfielder. And what a midfielder to bring on. But N'Golo Kante, potential Ballon d'Or winner this season. And he showed how good he was. He really did. He came on the pitch and he showed his absolute class. Because I think he was the best player in the game in the end. Him and Thiago Silva, for me, were absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, Kante absolutely changed the game now. I have to say it was great by Tuchel. Very well done.
First goal, Thiago Silva, obviously comes from a corner. I mean, you say, they were in the midfield battle, but the game did change. Corner did come from that. Swings in, Thiago Silva, brilliant header. And another player who's just come into his own his last 2 years. Yeah, in the end, Werner came on, added a bit of electric pace, swung into Rudiger, and Rudiger, he honestly finished it like it was Lukaku. You know what I mean? Like, it was unbelievable finish. But that's it. Anyway, that was the week that was in it.
Spurs shocking, by the way.
Spurs were
Spurs really, really poor. You look at the first few games of the season. What the hell has happened the last 2? You know what I mean?
Back-to-back 3-0 in the London derby.
Yeah. I seen a stat actually, and it was Joel Matip has 11 touches in the box this season, and Harry Kane has 10 in the opposition box. So it tells you how bad Kane has been since come back into the fold.
Good Lord.
To be honest with you, he looked like he didn't want to be playing for Spurs at all yesterday, with what I seen. But yeah, crack result for Chelsea. Tuchel masterclass. And title race is heating up. Yeah, well, we'll move on. Will we? Who was your God of the Week this week, Grant?
My God of the Week, actually, we mentioned him very start of the review. We mentioned Ivan Toney's performance. I thought he was absolutely terrific. I think I've given him God of the Week twice now, but I thought watching him in the first half, he had an electric first half, and he was the reason they scored 2 goals. I just rate that a striker has such good vision. You don't usually see a striker having that sort of vision. So, yeah, I do rate Ivan Toney a lot, and he did have a great week. So, who's your God of the Week?
Yeah, I'll go with the same. I think Ivan was great the other day. He could have had a hat-trick. You know what I mean? He's probably felt like he's a bit hard done by. But, yeah, cracking performance. But, Ivan, yeah.
We'll just give him God of the Week every week, even if he doesn't score. But,
just hope he replies to one of the messages at some stage.
Please.
Come on, Ivan. Come on the podcast.
God, no, not God of the Week. Not yet. Goal of the Week.
Goal of the week. I have to. Do you know what? I'm going to give it to Leicester's goal. I thought Leicester's goal was unbelievable. Great bit of passing play, and the ball by Tielemans was unbelievable. Shane Duffy playing like he was playing for Celtic. But yeah, cracking performance. Cracking goal even. Excuse me. It wasn't a great performance. Great goal by Leicester. And I would give a shout out to Naby Keita's goal as well. But Jamie Vardy of Leicester is my goal of the week.
My goal of the week goes to none other than Jesse Lingard. Even it was a great goal. It was a brilliant goal. But I think also the backstory behind it is equally brilliant. How he redeemed himself for that absolute terrible F up in against
that great assist on last week.
Yeah, and I think fair play to him. I wasn't expecting it at all when he came on, and he gets absolutely destroyed by both United fans and rival fans alike. So,
Yeah.
I honestly rate that response from him, and good goal. Well, I tell you what, Adzi, I was down in Pokes this morning, picking up a bit of fish for me ma for dinner, and you know what they said to me?
What did they say to you, Cran?
They said we have some fresh cod here.
What time is it?
This fella Ronaldo is a cod.
And this week's cod of the week is
Mark Noble.
the EastEnders merchant coming on in the last minute. To be fair, we could have given it to Davy Moisey as well. But yeah, what was he doing? What the penalty? Like, your penalty's bad when David De Gea is saving it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was at a perfect height for the keeper. I don't know what he was at.
Yeah.
And you have one job as well. One job. Score the penalty. Like, come on, you earn a living at West Ham. You haven't played in God knows how long, and you miss. For fuck's sake. It's time for the Hall of Fame segment.
My Hall of Fame this week is the namesake of this episode, Sebastian Haller, for his 4 goals midweek for Ajax against Sporting Lisbon. What a performance. What a performance from him. What do you think?
I thought he's just sensational.
Scored the weekend again for Ajax. And I think they won 9-0 the weekend, actually. But I always rated him at Eintracht. I thought West Ham, he was a bit hard done by. Didn't really perform, but he scored an overhead kick for West Ham. I'm pretty sure. Might put that in the Hall of Fame next week. Fuck it. And we just rename it to the Sebastian Haller Award. But yeah, my pick this week is Sebastian Haller. What about yourself, Gran?
Good choice. I'm going to go for Pellegrini's goal for Roma against Verona.
Great show.
Absolutely beautiful goal. Flicked it in. I think it was a Rabona finish. I remember watching and thinking, what the hell? Did that just go in? And it did. It went in. And it was just a sensational goal. And I have to say, I was watching that game while Chelsea Spurs was on. And it was a very good game of football.
You've become a loyal Roma fan because of Tammy Abraham.
Yeah. Tammy is
Fair
taking
play.
it heart.
Him and Adele. So Sebastian Haller for his 4 goals against Sporting Lisbon, up against Pellegrini's goal for Roma. Move on, please.
Our illustrious Euro Trash, Euro Treasure segment.
What was your Euro treasure this week, Cran?
My Euro Treasure this week, it comes from the Champions League, believe it or not. It's very far back at this point. But I've gone for Sheriff's Adama Traore. And I've not just gone for because, he is the name of another player in the Premier League, but he's also plays for Sheriff, who I find to be an intriguing story in the Champions League. A Moldovan team, never seen before in the Champions League, and they go ahead and beat Shakhtar 2-0. That's going to be a very difficult place for any Champions League team to go to this season. Sheriff Stadium, because I've seen many a team lose there in the qualifiers, and now they're in the big leagues now, and they beat Shakhtar, of all people, 2-0. That's impressive. So that's what I've gone for.
I think that win is the essence of what's good about the Champions League. And it's the essence of what would have been ruined if Super League had happened. So absolutely. Yeah, great win for Sheriff. I'm absolutely buzzing for him.
The Sheriff is in town. You're your treasure, Adzi.
My Euro treasure this week comes out Deutschland. It's Rafael Guerrero's goal against Union Berlin. Did you see it?
Wowzers. So I actually didn't know. What did it entail?
It was an absolutely sensual goal. It was out on the left-hand side, comes to Guerrero, and Guerrero whacks it into the goal on the volley. I think it was a half volley. Hits the top corner. And I don't know what they do in Dortmund, right? But they must have the net tied so tightly to the pole, because whenever the net bulges, it makes this orgasmic noise. And it was a beautiful noise. It was a beautiful goal. And
you wouldn't see it on a rainy night in Stoke now, do you? the net bulging.
No,
like
you
that.
wouldn't see Rafael Guerrero in Stoke at all, thankfully. But yeah, that's my Euro trash, is Rafael Guerrero's volley. It's just a great goal, man. And the noise in it was lovely. Yeah, so your Euro trash this week.
My Euro trash this week, it actually comes from the game I was watching that also the Pellegrini scored in. Roma losing 3-2 to Verona.
Yeah.
Just a bad result for them. Really bad. And you see Mourinho go mad on the sidelines. He looked absolutely pissed. He looked like someone nicked his cornflakes in the morning. That's what he looked like. He was running. He was going to run after him. He looked like he was absolutely. He was livid at it, and I would be as well. Losing to Verona when you're in the title charge.
It was a great goal that won it, though. I'm pretty sure, wasn't it? A volley.
Yeah, well, it was a very good game to watch. It was end to end, sort of 2-2, 3-2. Actually, probably a better game than the first Chelsea game in the end. But yeah, that's my Euro trash.
My Euro trash this week comes from the Champions League as well, and it's Anthony Taylor giving Dynamo Kiev's Denis Garmesh a second yellow card, so subsequent yellow card. And just a bit of context to this. Garmesh hadn't been booked. He hadn't been booked, and Anthony Taylor was giving him his second yellow card and sent him off. Now, thankfully, it got overturned, and he didn't get sent off. But I think Anthony Taylor is the epitome of bad English refereeing, and that was it right there. You know what I mean?
It was awful.
And then just the weekend that happened, like after in the Premier League, you kind of say to yourself, "Man, is this kind of how are these referees? You know what I mean? These are some of the most highly rated referees in the country, in the world, and he's given out a second yellow for a player who wasn't even booked. But yeah, didn't stand in anyways. But yeah, Anthony Taylor given a wrongful red card in the Champions League is my Euro trash this week.
Wow. Yeah, and just on the referees as well. You say, how are they referees? The bigger question I have for them is, how are they all balls? That's my question.
Will we bring in Peter Walton to answer this, will we?
Yeah, we will. Peter, what do you think?
I think the referee got it right. That's all he says every time. The referee could 2 foot a centre half and he go, look, the referee's well within his rights to 2 foot the centre half there. Don't know how he has a job. I don't know, to be fair.
And then the commentator steps in. He's like, "Thanks, Peter." And they always say thanks to him. I wouldn't say thanks to him. I'd say fuck off.
Do you know what? They've actually BT have made it a thing now where they say fair play to Peter, you got it right, because he was getting so much abuse over. It's like fair play to Peter there. He was spot on again. It's like they just have to give him a free kick out. They didn't give the penalty. Yes, but fair play to Peter. Thanks for being here, Peter.
Get it out!
Get out, Manchester! Every week, Grant, every week. Funny enough, my David De Gea's penalty was saved in the Europa League final. So I can't put it in this. But this week, we are discussing our top 5 penalty misses. And Grant, I'm going to let you get the ball rolling. Who have you got number 5?
Oh, it's a difficult one now. I have a lot of them. But my number 5, I think it has to go to Ademola Lookman for Fulham against West Ham. 98 minutes, 10 months ago, this was. I remember it vividly. It's a vivid memory of mine. I was watching Match of the Day, and I just seen, I didn't even know the result, I don't think. I just remember Lookman stepping up. I was like, this is going to be 1-1 now. And he just steps up and just tries to Panenka, and it's the worst at a Panenka I've ever seen in my life. It was absolutely horrendous. And he just scuffed the turf. I would have done a better job myself. It was an awful penalty. And yeah, that's that. Your 5th worst penalty. It's so negative. Your 5th worst penalty.
I think it's the first week on Get Out where we've actually talked about the shitness of a player. But yeah, my number 5 is Simone Zaza of Italy versus Germany in the Euro 2016. I think it was quarterfinals. And I don't know whether you remember this, right? But he does like the weirdest run up ever. It's like a jaunt he takes up to take the penalty. And when I say he just hoofs it over the bar, like fair play to me. He hit the ball that hard, went up into the moon to let the astronauts play heads and volleys with it. Like it was that bad. But Yeah, that's my number 5. Simone Zaza for Italy against Germany.
The astronauts playing heads and bodies. Who was up there? What's his name? Armstrong.
Chris Hadfield's up there.
Ground control to me.
Elton John was there. Because I'm a rocket man. And I think it's going to be a long, long time. I just watched the Elton John film like last month with my ma, and I have to say it was good. It was actually a good film. The music's great, but the film's a bit shit. But anyways, we move on. You're number 4 top penalty miss. Come on, Cram, dig me out, please.
My number 4 penalty. It's gonna go to Ivan Cavallero of Fulham again. I hate to pick on Fulham twice in a row, but this
was all from last season.
Yeah, it was just a terrible penalty. I've never seen such bad penalties in my life. I don't know what it was with Fulham players taking penalties last season, but this fella literally against Everton, I think it was, he kicked it against his own heel and sort of like fell over. And it just went over the bar. It was just a terrible penalty. Your 4th worst penalty ever.
Yeah, so I didn't know who to give this one to, right? But it's the Robert Perez and Thierry Henry penalty for Arsenal against City in 2005, where it feels like Perez is trying to pass it to Henry for Henry to tap it in. But it was just, I remember saying at the time, with very little understanding of football and being baffled by it. You know what I mean? I was so surprised to see what happened. And yeah, it's just a terrible penalty. We've seen, I think Messi and Suarez done it, or Neymar and Suarez done it for Barcelona a couple of years ago. Done it successfully now. But yeah, terrible penalty. And I vividly remember Danny Mills, I think it was, going over and giving Henry dogs abuse. Like he was nearly squared up to him, and I was like, what are you doing? But yeah, that's my number 4.
My number 3, it's going to go to Bastian Schweinsteiger against Chelsea for Bayern Munich. The 2012.
Bastian.
Just an awful penalty by Bastian. I think Olic missed the one before, and it was up to him, and you wouldn't expect him to miss it now. You know, he seemed like he had ice in his veins for Germany, and he was some player in his time. But he just, for some reason, he just kicked the penalty spot multiple times. Just started like hitting the penalty spot with his foot, and then he put the ball down and just missed. And I think, Czech had him sussed. It was a save, I think, in the end, but I thought that was a terrible penalty miss. That's my number 3.
My number 3 is, and this one's probably going to hit hard because it's a bit of a sad one, but Asamoah Gyan's penalty for Ghana versus Uruguay at the 2010 World Cup.
No way.
I don't know Yeah. Suarez, by the way, great shithousing here. It's actually the worst thing, I think. One of the worst things he's ever done. I can't say it's the worst thing because he's a horrible person. Great footballer, mind. But Suarez punches the ball off the line in like the last minute of the game. Ghana putting loads of pressure on. So Jan steps up, and anyways, and I can understand the type of penalty he's trying to take. Make sure it, put your laces through it. But he just smashes it off the bar and over it goes. The last kick of the game. And obviously, Ghana go on to lose the game. But I had a good analogy about pressure. Pressure does two things. Pressure makes pipes burst, and it makes diamonds. And unfortunately, in this scenario, Asamoah Gyan was definitely a pipe, and he burst, and he just couldn't handle the pressure.
You would have loved an African team to get to the World Cup semi-final. So
definitely.
My number 2.
Yeah, your number 2. Yeah,
I'm going to give it to Messi for Chile, or against Chile in the Copa America
2016
I didn't expect this final. He just missed. He missed the target completely. I was expecting Messi to hit the target. That was his chance. His first chance to win a trophy for his country internationally. Well, I'm exaggerating here, but because he won the Copa America in the end, so I suppose it doesn't have that much importance. But it was a chance for him to win a trophy for his country.
But yeah, he let his country down, though.
Yeah, I give it to him. Your number 2.
My number 2, and I told you you'll enjoy one of these, and this is the one. But my number 2 worst penalty miss ever, is Diana Ross at the United States World Cup 1994. I don't know whether you've ever seen this. Have you seen it?
No, what the fuck is this?
So it's an open ceremony in, I think it's New York or Los Angeles, one of the big stadiums in America. And obviously she's singing and dancing, whatever. And she takes a penalty in a massively oversized goal with, I'm pretty sure there's a big ball as well. And she just hits it wide. And the goal explodes. Like, they expected her to score, but the goal just explodes. Oh, my God.
I've never seen that before, but I want to watch it now.
Yeah. Do you know what? Have you got your laptop there? Look it up right now. But yeah, Diana Ross. Number 2 for me is Diana Ross. I think she sings that song. Yeah, 1994 World Cup. Hilarious stuff. Hilarious.
That's brilliant. My number 1 goes to Asamoah Gyan. I'm not sticking to one everyone knows in because I don't want to. It hurts. So I've given it to Asamoah Gyan for Ghana against Uruguay. I just remember watching it and feeling very upset.
Yeah.
You know? And it was an awful penalty miss because I thought Suarez was such a scumbag as well. He didn't deserve to get away with it.
No.
And he's such shithousery at the end. But
justice firmly deserved to be served there, and I have to say, I would have loved if Ghana had scored.
I've given it to him. Anyway, just move on to number 1 for you, please. Sam. I'll end
You
the
know what's
podcast.
coming, Cran. You know what's coming. It was a cold, wet and rainy night in Moscow. May 2008. A Wednesday night, I believe. Champions League final. Manchester United, Chelsea. Avram Grant, Sir Alex Ferguson, the big one. Game ends in a draw. Goes extra time. Into penalties it goes. Correct me if I'm wrong, Cran, but if this penalty had gone in, it would have been game over, wouldn't it?
No comment.
And anyways, Man United 4 after missing 1 penalty, Chelsea 4 after successfully scoring all theirs. Up steps club captain, rearranged the penalty orders and everything. Up steps John Terry. Cool as you like. I tell you, he was about as cool as a hot dinner there. Steps up on his arse. It's just an awful penalty. I'm sorry, Cran. But this is one of these moments that it's a bit like Gerrard for you, but this one is it's one of the funniest moments in football history. Of course, number 1 for me is John Terry's penalty miss for Chelsea against Manchester United. I don't know what else to say. Do you know what? I'm gonna give it to you now. Explain to me how it felt at that time, because I've had hard times in football myself. Like, I know how hard it can be, but I can't imagine that now. I'll be deadly serious with you.
Yeah, I just remember. Look, it was probably my earliest memory of the team, to be honest, because it was so memorable. Well, I was watching them before that, and this one is just one that sticks out from childhood that hurt, because I was, 7? So you can imagine a 7-year-old crying. Wasn't a pretty sight. And
look, we've all cried at football.
Yeah, I was very upset because all my mates were United fans as well, so it was even worse.
I feel like everyone's mates are United fans, though.
Yeah, they're not your mates, though, are they? They're not your mates.
What, they're your enemies?
Not at that moment. Yeah, it was depressing now. I think I was in school the next day and everything, so it was just horrible.
Oh, jeez.
I probably didn't go. I play devil's advocate and I watched the penalty over and over again. And
why did you put yourself through it?
I think, he slipped. It was a wet night, as you said. He slipped. It happened to anyone. That's why I don't like to sort of pin it on him. I actually prefer to pin it on Anelka more than anything, because he had a penalty after him. And, teammates are supposed to back each other up. And Anelka missed his penalty, and then all the blame lied on Terry. So that's just the way it happened.
I think the blame lies within Terry purely because the rumour at the time, and still goes around now, is like Anelka was supposed to take that 5th penalty. And Terry said, "No, hold on, Nicholas. I'm your man for the job." And poor Nicholas as well. His penalty was awful. I remember that as well. But yeah, what a penalty. Oh, what a day. What a day. What a penalty. You're not happy at all, Cran.
No, I'm just upset thinking about that now. I didn't want to do the top 5 penalties for this very reason.
It was always going to come. It was the time to do it was now with The EastEnders fucking merchant.
I could
Missing
tell.
on
No, hold
Sunday.
on. I could tell when Dave put this in the suggestions that this is what he wanted as well. The fucking cheeky bastard. Fucking prick. He was waiting for that now. He was waiting for that. The waterworks.
You're surely joking, are you?
I am joking. No, I was upset. I'm not. I'm over it now because Drogba redeemed the whole situation, so I don't really.
He's
care.
only won 2 since.
Ah, yeah. two is enough. 2 is enough.
Two is
Better than
enough.
none. Anyways, we'll wrap up the pod.
You need to get yourself a gargle, man. Get yourself out there.
I'm
Fresh
going.
week in DCU. Cran is on the prowl. Here he comes.
I am headed out. I'm gonna have a hot whiskey now with the boys, and I'm gonna cry myself to sleep after doing this podcast and not bring. But yeah, I'd like to thank everyone for listening. Thanks very much. And quickly as well, if you are listening and you're a big fan of the podcast, if you could download it on Spotify, just so we have a better idea of the listeners we do have and the people that are enjoying it. If you could give it a download. Yeah, that's all I would say. And thanks everyone.
We got any shout outs this week, Cran? Any people you want to give a shout out to?
I would like to give a shout out, actually. I'd like to give a shout out to Senna McCaig and Dirty Michael, as always.
Do you know what? I shouldn't have said that. I was genuinely thinking to myself, grand, we haven't mentioned Senna or Dirty Michael, thankfully. But here we are.
Yeah. Any shout outs for yourself?
No, really. Actually, the lads I got to college with, Mihal, and fair play to them. I'm gonna tell them tomorrow that we shouted you, and it's literally at the last minute. So God bless me, we'll have to listen to the whole thing to hear it. So yeah, shout out to Philly from the golf shop, and shout out to Mihal, the native Irish speaker, by the way. He's an absolute legend. He'll enjoy this week's episode, and yeah, I think that's all. That's all this week. Thanks everybody. We love yous all, and we'll leave it there. So.
We'll leave it there. So.